3 brave Americans gave their lives in service to our country. My heart goes out to the families of Sergeant William Jerome Rivers, Specialist Kennedy Sanders, and Specialist Breonna Moffett, who were serving in the Army Reserve 718th Engineer Company, the same company I served in nearly 30 years ago as a platoon leader. I know the bravery of men and women who put themselves in harm's way. And my prayers are with their colleagues who are suffering from their injuries. Our service members continue to be on the front lines of Iran-backed attacks. Earlier this month, 2 Navy SEALs went missing in action while interdicting lethal aid that Iran was resupplying to the Houthis. Navy Special Warfare Operator First Class Christopher Chambers and Navy Special Warfare Operator Second Class Nathan Ingram made the ultimate sacrifice, working to prevent more Iranian-backed terror. Iran's proxies who continue to attack our troops must know how seriously the United States takes American lives. Every American life is precious. Our adversaries need to understand that a single American loss is one too many, and that they will pay dearly for spilling the blood of those who wear the uniform. I've said it before and I'll say it again. American weakness on the world stage emboldens our adversaries and puts U.S. citizens at risk. Right now, today, 6 Americans continue to be held hostage by Iran-backed Hamas. This terrorist organization thinks it can barter with American lives. Instead of fearing us, they seek to manipulate us. Instead of hiding in the shadows, they hold press conferences and entertain foreign officials openly in Doha. For over 100 days, Hamas has held 6 of our citizens and has not paid a price. Instead, the opposite has occurred. What is President Biden doing to bring them home? Doubling down on the appeasement strategy. By refusing to enforce existing sanctions on Iran's illicit oil sales, President Biden has fueled and funded Tehran's terrorist proxies and greenlit terrorism. For years, President Biden lined the coffers of the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism through his appeasement strategy, culminating in the October 7th assault on Israel. Every day since these Iranian-backed attacks on Israel, we have seen the world erupt into chaos, and American lives have been in constant danger. Still, the Biden administration fears escalation more than anything else. What's the result? They are letting Tehran's terrorists off the hook for their illicit actions and attacks on American lives. October 7th was not only a physical attack on Israel, but also one of the largest losses of American lives from terrorism since 9/11. There were 32 unforgettable deaths. Make no mistake, this chaos is exactly what Iran wants. It pays for it and it plans for it. When I was in the region during the attacks, many leaders shared their concerns with me that Iran would capitalize on the chaos by using proxies to escalate the conflict. I knew that it was essential to stand with Israel, not only to protect our partnership with our greatest ally in the region, but also to protect American lives. Unfortunately, we are seeing those fears come to fruition. Since October 7th, Iran-backed proxies have ramped up their aggression with over 160 attacks on our service members. The Houthis are unleashing drone attacks on our troops in the Red Sea, disrupting commerce and wreaking havoc on innocent civilians. We struggle to defend our ships from incoming rockets and drones, and hesitate to find, fix, and finish the very source of these attacks. We know it's Iranian proxies. Folks, we know that. There's no doubt about it. We know they are trained by the IRGC. It is time to strike the source of the problem. Why? Because American lives continue to be on the line every single day. Self-defense is not escalation. It is the most basic and moral action we can take as a nation. We owe it to our troops. We owe it to our citizens. For nearly 4 months, folks, Hamas has held U.S. citizens hostage as political prisoners. Our fellow Americans are being used as human shields without consistent access to food, to water, to medical treatment, or to sleep. Right now, American hostage families live in agony, uncertain if their loved ones are alive or they're dead. No parent should ever have to endure this. And terrorists should not be able to hold this power over Americans. We must do everything in our power to stop Hamas from torturing our families. To end Hamas's reign of terror, we must cut off their IRGC funding. These terrorist groups have one thing in common. As long as they are sponsored by Tehran, they are committed to chaos in the world, and they pose a threat to Americans at home and abroad. Now is the time for strong U.S. leadership. I've been calling for President Biden to hit Iran where it hurts, the pocketbooks funneling illicit oil funds to its terrorist proxies. The choice, folks, is clear. To stand with Israel, we must target Iran's terrorist arm and end its ability to target Americans so we can bring American hostages home safely and quickly. Folks, every second counts. Thank you, Madam President. I yield the floor.